having, been doing this for 1 week, there are lots of things I'm going to have to get used to. One is probably the technology not always working. So I'll try to speak up and wave at the back if you can't hear me. That won't work, will it? I don't really. Thank you very much, Maz, for that lovely introduction. One of the joys so far of being part of this has been the people I've met and the passion that I've seen. And Maz certainly has been a big part of that passion and desire for change. And thank you very much, Uncle Fred, for your words. Unfortunately, Carolyn had a COVID booster and is not feeling well. And I really appreciate you stepping in and welcoming us to this beautiful Whadjuk Budja on this quite mild day of Bunuroo. And I think we can be very grateful that it's not a normal Bunuroo day. Thank you all so much for coming. It is really humbling to see the way people have come out of the woodwork from near and far, people I've known for a long time, people I don't know, and really to see that energy for change that exists across the community. It's really, really exciting. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm running, what I stand for, and what it's going to be like being a volunteer in this campaign. Firstly, why I'm running. When Curtin Independent approached me on the 5th of January this year, which seems like a lifetime ago, I could think of so many reasons not to do this. There are endless reasons not to do this, and there was really only one reason to do it, and that's because it really matters. This is really important. The same way I think a lot of people across Curtin do and across Australia generally, really disillusioned with what we're seeing in our federal politics. It's just a bit depressing and also taken for granted. I think the sensible centre, we're not seeing our views expressed, and the policies that we see coming out of the Prime Minister and Barnaby Joyce just do not represent the views of the majority of Australia. I am deeply connected to Curtin. I've spent most of my life here. I have really strong family, social, everything networks here in the electorate, and I feel like I've got a good sense of how people are feeling here, and that's why I think I am able to represent those views. We're not seeing action on the big issues that matter. Climate change. We've lost 15 years with climate change being caught up in politics. And this decade is really, really important. We need to see some action this decade. We can't put it off and cross our fingers and hope that technology will solve it before 2050. We have to be acting on this now. Woo. Woo. Yes. On federal government integrity, we've come to accept a lower standard, and that has to change. And we see that at the pointy end of integrity, where we see taxpayer funds being used for political purposes, which has to change. But we also see it in a cultural sense, the way women are treated in Parliament, the disrespect that we see within the way people in Parliament are speaking to each other. Since I launched a week ago, the Prime Minister has been called a horrible person, a liar, a psychopath, and this is from people in his own team. We need to have discussion about the issues that is not personal, that's not identity-based, so that we can actually take the good ideas from wherever they come and develop policies that will set us on the right path for the future. And we can't do that without greater integrity. Economic opportunities, I really believe that the global economy will decarbonise because it has to. The question is whether it will be soon enough to avoid irrevocable damage, and the second question is whether Australia will actually get on board and make the most of the wave of economic opportunities that can come out of this. So we really need to be looking forward and thinking about sustainable jobs in 20 years' time, and what that will take and what decisions we need to make now that set us up for future success rather than taking our success for granted. And lastly is our communities. And I think that there is a lot more compassion in our communities than our current leadership is giving us credit for. We have a great opportunity with the Uluru Statement to rewrite the future of how we acknowledge and embrace our First Nations past. And this government has just not been taking that opportunity. The way we treat asylum seekers, there has to be a more humane way to approach that issue for people. When you think about people who have been through so much trauma already, just to have a chance at the things that we take for granted, that is a wonderful opportunity that we need to embrace in a more compassionate way. And on diversity, this electorate was 74% in favour of marriage equality, and I think this electorate is really keen to embrace diversity in all its forms, whether it's gender, sexual orientation, culture, race. We are a compassionate community, and we need to see that being reflected in the policies that we have at a federal level. I don't think we're going to see big change on these issues with our current two-party system. We're seeing the parties move away and leave this big gap in the middle. And it's no wonder that there are candidates all over Australia rising up to represent the sensible centre and fill that vacuum that's been left. And I think that's really, really exciting. There is a significant chance that at this election, these sensible centre candidates from all over the country could hold the balance of power. And that could really see some different decisions and some different leadership on these big issues that matter. Because these candidates, and I'm one of them, I'm not interested in, I've not always wanted to be a politician. I've got plenty of other things in my life. I'm interested in the change, not the political career. And I think that there are lots of largely women across the country who just want to see things get done. If I win, my number one priority will be listening to the voters of Curtin and representing them on the issues that I've been voted in on, and also on the issues that they care about. I won't be beholden to vested interests or coalition partners or unions or any other particular interest group. It's really just all about being a representative role for the electorate. Now, there's no doubt we've got a big challenge ahead. The Liberal Party won this electorate with a 54% primary vote in the last election. We've got 14 weeks and we've got 108,000 people to reach. So we've got a bit of a mountain to climb. But I feel really optimistic because I've heard so much in the last week about people with a real appetite for change and some optimism. And optimism is really catchy. Being a volunteer on this campaign, what's that going to involve? I think it will be really rewarding and fun, because it's actually it's really fun to connect with people about things that you care about, and doing that in an optimistic context where there is hope really brings a sense of energy, and that's really what we need to harness to get this done over the next 14 weeks. This cannot be done without the Aqua Army and then the second and third degrees beyond that. It's really a community grassroots campaign, and a personal endorsement from someone who passionately believes that this is possible is worth a whole lot more than billboards. And really what I'm asking you to do as we go on this journey together is to connect with your communities and have those conversations and find those opportunities to change the conversation and to open this up, whether that's hosting an event for people who maybe you think could be interested in this. It could be, there'll be opportunities for door knocking and letterbox drops, and the really, really important part the lead up to the election and election day itself, where we're going to need to have a really strong presence in all of those polling booths across the electorate. So it really is going to depend on the energy of this group as it grows to see whether we can get this done. And I thank you very, very much for being here and showing some intention to go on that path. It's a grassroots campaign. We welcome your ideas. The campaign team is a bunch of people like me who want to see change, want to do things differently, and we're really open to your ideas about how to do that. We need to harness the skills and energy and networks of the people around us. So, as well as potentially some of the funding. So if you want to make a donation, it will be very, very welcome. Every dollar will make a difference to getting the word out and sending the message that there is a real alternative. So today, all I ask is that you talk to each other, find out what it is that brings us together and what we have in common about why we actually think this is worth getting out of bed for on a Sunday morning. You've got your t-shirts. Please wear them. You feel a bit dorky the first time you wear it, but I think it'll be a conversation point and really open up those conversations about why change is needed and why it's possible. Take some photos today, post them on social media if that's what you do. We're using a hashtag Chaney for Curtin, and spread the word. Spread the word to anyone you think could be interested. You've probably all had a chance to sign up. Look out for emails from our office and we'll list regularly opportunities to get involved. So thank you very much for being here. I think we've got a really exciting journey together, and you will all be able to say that you were here when it started. Yeah.